bit because it was our goal, you know. Our goal was to grow a giant and then one day get it in Dollywood, and then here we are. It was exciting for all of us.
A dream come true for the Edwards family.
And our thanks to Andrew McClung for that story. Who knew pumpkins could be so emotional for a family?
Yeah, seriously, those are gorgeous pumpkins. And speaking of, are you ready for Halloween? Still ahead on the Today Show. Americans can expect a scare when it comes to the cost of spooky season. This morning, get the top tips for families looking to scope out early deals for decorations, candy, and this year's most popular costumes.
Yeah, can't wait. I know you're full on.
You know me. I love Halloween.
At home. We get your costumes ready right about now. Thanks for watching Early Today. I'm Frances Rivera.
And I'm Jessica Layton. Have a great Thursday. See you tomorrow.
WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
Your car's steering wheel could be a literal ticking time bomb. If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, even if your accident was your fault, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Act now and do not delay.
The Jennifer Hudson Show is here.
You're going to bless people every day.
Something hits you in your heart.
We're doing it all.
Weekdays at 2 on NBC 40.
Name the sexiest bald man alive. Steve Harvey. Oh, God, I was scared I wasn't going to be up there. Where does a kid get a tattoo so the parents don't see it?
Prison.
This is the best game I've ever had.
A new season of Family Feud starts September 25th.
Good morning, everybody. Weather anchor Noah Moore here, filling in for Darius Mack on this Thursday morning. Now, as we start out the day, it's going to be a little cooler outside, but temperatures are still mild into the mid to upper 60s at this current time. But as we go right into the rest of the day, temperatures are expected to increase, but I'll have more on that in my full forecast because News 40 Sunrise starts right now.
Coming up on News 40 Sunrise. Flu season is right around the corner, and while cases may be low nationwide, we'll discover some tips on how to keep yourself flu-free year-round. Then, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky returns to Washington today to meet with lawmakers and President Biden. We'll have the latest details on the visit and find out what comes next. Plus, interest rates have steadily been on the rise throughout 2023, but now the Federal Reserve says they want to try a different way in handling inflation. We'll look into what that could mean for your wallet. News 40 Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on News 40 Sunrise. Today is Thursday, September 21st. I'm Ashley Wilson. Let's start off with our top stories. Detroit car makers are announcing more layoffs that they blame on fallout from the United Auto Workers strike. General Motors said Wednesday it idled a plant in Kansas with 2,000 workers because they don't have auto parts to work with. The plant that makes those parts is on strike, and Stellantis, the maker of Jeep and Chrysler, says it expects to lay off more than 300 workers in Ohio and Indiana. The layoffs are adding to tension just 2 days before the UAW is expected to call for expanding its strike, which right now is limited to 3 vehicle assembly plants. There is no word as to if or when plants here in Kentucky will join the strike. We come back here at home where one local favorite is returning. The White Squirrel Brewery is back with a new location inside the former Gasper Brewing Company building. The local brewery will still have all their staple products on tap, along with some new ones in the open building with a variety of seating areas and plenty of activities for the whole family. The owners say they are excited to finally cut the ribbon on the establishment.
Just the way it's come together. And like it was dragging along. Like I said, we started the construction in early April. And it was just, it's just kind of dragging along. And then all of a sudden, the vision came together.
The grand opening is scheduled for this Saturday with lots of events planned for the whole weekend. And you can visit our website, WNKY.com, for more details on all that you can expect to see at the event. And neighborhood and city services are giving the Riverfront Park what some might call a facelift. The city has unveiled the new design of the park while hosting a workshop, giving members of the community a chance to share any thoughts on what works and what doesn't work within the park. News 40 sat down with the city commissioner and heard his view on this new project.
I'm excited, number one, because we're developing the riverfront, and to see something like this to actually come to life and to be something that's going to be a revenue booster for our city is going to be great. And in 20 years, it's going to be a place that everybody's going to look back and be glad that we have this.
If you didn't have the chance to share your thoughts at Wednesday night's workshop, you can visit the city's website to share what you'd like to see within the new park. And we want you and your children to be prepared anytime you're in a vehicle, and we're not the only ones. That's why local law enforcement is hoping to help you keep your child safe by providing some life-saving tips. This week is Child Passenger Safety Week. Officers say you should check your child's car seats or booster seats to make sure everything is properly installed and your child is always buckled in correctly.
We don't just work in these communities, we're a part of them. Our families are there, and we want to make sure that everybody's as safe as possible because we want the roadways to be a safe place, a place where people aren't afraid to travel daily. Just being able to provide some type of information to people to make their travels a little safer, especially for their kids.
If you have any questions about installing your car seat or you want to check that you're buckling your child in properly, you can always visit a local law enforcement office or fire department and they will help you. That was the first look at your top stories. Now let's bring in weather anchor Noah Moore for a check of our forecast. Noah, good morning.
Good morning, Ashley. Yeah, temperatures, like I said before, they're starting out mild in most areas, but some of us are still into the mid to upper 50s, such as Munfordville at 59 degrees. But further down to the south here in Scottsville, 62, and then here down to the south in Franklin, 63 degrees. So fairly mild start to the day. So a little less layers for the rest of the day as we go throughout the day. But wind speeds, we are mainly seeing winds light and calm in and around the south. And that's going to feel and bring in a lot more moisture into our atmosphere as we go into next week. But here's your live radar currently further out to the west, such as Madisonville, Princeton, and Hopkinsville. That's where they are going to see showers and possibility of some thunderstorms, but they should remain off to the west. And the main threats with these showers and storms could be just heavy downpours and maybe even some lightning in some of these heavier cells, especially if they're going over the same place. Now, here's live radar on the bigger scale. We are mainly seeing mostly dry conditions here in most of the Ohio Valley regions, but just right here in this small quadrant, that's where they are still seeing some more isolated showers and thunderstorms, and more coverage is going to continue throughout the rest of the day today. But here's your commuter forecast. As we go throughout the rest of the day today, temperatures are going to gradually increase into the 80s. By lunchtime, that's when we are going to see temperatures in and around to the low 80s, but as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon, temperatures should be into the mid to low 80s. But we'll have more news and weather after the break.
WNKY News 40, broadcasting live from the German American Bank studio in downtown Bowling Green. Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher.
I made it to college football as a walk-on. None of the scholarship, but all the hard work. It wasn't glamorous, but it taught me to leave it all on the field. And that's exactly what I'll do as governor. Andy Beshear has failed us. He locked our schools and unlocked our jails. We can do better. I'm Daniel Cameron. I'm leaving it all on the field so the next generation inherits a quality education system, safer communities, and more prosperous families. Join me, and let's go win this thing.
Whoa! Big news! DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. You'll be so dialed into every play that you forget to eat your wings. You made my wings cold, DraftKings. Flailing your arms like you can disrupt the free throw. Miss, fool! And a home run will have you crying like it's the birth of your child. I'm so happy.
DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. New customers, download the app now to get $200 in bonus bets when we go live. Because life's more fun when you're in on the action. The crown is yours.
Yeah.
Time to turn talk into action. Step 1, fire up your BetMGM Sportsbook. Step 2, make your pick. And step 3, showtime. Now that hunch has some weight to it. Every play, every game means something more. Because now, you're betting with the king of sportsbooks.
The Jennifer Hudson Show is here.
I left work to come.
You left work? They gonna see you. He's with me today. We're lighting up daytime, baby.
You're going to bless people every single day.
We're giving back, lifting each other up.
Something hits you in your heart.
We're doing it all.
Weekdays at 2 on WNKY NBC 40.
Welcome back to News 40 Sunrise. It's 8 minutes past the hour, and now time for Living Well, brought to you by Spring Hill Pharmacy. Right now, the CDC says cases of the flu are low in the U.S., but flu season typically starts in October, peaking sometime in February. It can go as late as May, and experts say now is the time to get a flu shot. In today's Health Minute, News 40's Morgan Hoover has more on how to push to protect the public from this virus and how to find a flu shot near you.
It's that time of year again. RSV, COVID-19, and flu, a potential triple threat this fall.
We want to get ahead of it and encourage people to get a flu shot now.
Last flu season, there were at least 27 million flu cases, 300,000 flu hospitalizations, and 19,000 deaths related to flu. While the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says that vaccinations reduce the risk of flu hospitalization by about 50%, fewer than half the country got the flu shot last season. The CDC says September and October are optimal times to be vaccinated.
We're actually expecting that the flu shot that we have available will work very well and be very effective once the flu is in the Northern Hemisphere.
The CDC says the African American and Hispanic communities are at higher risk for serious health outcomes from the flu, but have been less likely to get vaccinated. Barriers such as the lack of health insurance or transportation and the inability to take off from work are believed to have played a role. State health departments, community health centers, and local pharmacies all have flu shots available. To find one closest to you, the agency says to check getmyflushot.org.
It's a way to just be prepared, knowing that the flu is coming.
For WNKY News 40, I'm Morgan Hoover.
Ultra-processed foods like frozen pizza, French fries, and cookies could be linked to depression in women. A new study published Wednesday in the journal JAMA Network Open examined the diets of nearly 32,000 middle-aged women. The study did not include any men, so the results cannot be generalized. When the researchers looked at specific ultra-processed foods and drinks, also known as UPFs, only those made with artificial sweeteners were associated with an increased risk of depression. The study's co-author says there's a possibility those with chronic depression can worsen their condition through a poor diet. Coming up next on News 40 Sunrise, Ukrainian President Zelensky made a trip to the United States to discuss the ongoing war in his country. We'll see what some politicians say about the continuing crisis.
And how long will these warm temperatures and dry conditions last us through the weekend? I'll have all that and more in my 7-day forecast after the break.
Win up to $5,000 cash with the Red Towel Drawings at the Mint Gaming Hall Bowling Green every Friday in September at 6, 7, and 8 p.m. Red Towel Drawings only at the Mint Gaming Hall, proud partner of Western Kentucky University.
Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher.
The nursing home made you an important promise. They promised to be a good home for your loved one and to provide professional care in a safe environment. Now the nursing home has broken that promise and you're left searching for answers. Call us at Hughes & Coleman for a free consultation. If your loved one suffered a serious injury or untimely death while in a nursing home, get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600. Standing up for your loved ones is what matters now.
At Spring Hill Pharmacy, we see that simple packaging can benefit a lot of people with taking their medications simply and correctly. With Smart Pack, you can have the confidence you're taking the medications at the right dose and at the right time. We are committed to providing you with a safe and organized tool to help make your life easier and worry-free. Spring Hill Pharmacy, where helping people is what we do. Visit us on Russellville Road in Bowling Green.
Have big dreams for your space? When looking for home decor ideas, you want BG Home Furnishings.
BG Home Furnishings designers are here to bring your dream home to life with one-on-one design help. Personalized advice from the best has never been this easy, accessible, and valuable. The BG at Home team handpicks from over 100 brands to create a selection of furniture and home decor that is tailored to your style.
Call us today to set up your free in-home design consultation.
Celebrate 3 years of winning all September long at the Mint Gaming Hall Kentucky Downs. Drive away in a brand new Subaru or win up to $500 in free play every Friday in September. Spin for a Subaru only at the Mint Gaming Hall Kentucky Downs.
Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky returns to Washington today to meet with lawmakers and President Biden. His visit comes as Congress weighs more assistance for Ukraine while also trying to keep the federal government up and running. Bree Jackson is in Washington with the latest.
19 months after Russia's invasion began, President Zelensky and his Ukrainian forces continue to put up a fierce fight. And his passionate pleas for support from allies is only growing stronger.
Ukrainian soldiers now are doing, at the expense of their blood, what the UN Security Council should do by its voting. They're stopping aggression and upholding the principles of the UN Charter.
After speaking at the United Nations General Assembly in New York this week, Zelensky is now bringing his message to Capitol Hill. Lawmakers are considering more aid for his war-torn country. The Republican Party is divided.
I don't support additional funding for Ukraine. My view is we need to, number one, take care of our folks first.
Letting Putin win doesn't make any problem at home better, it makes it worse.
Funding for Ukraine is one sticking point in spending talks. The White House has requested $24 billion in assistance for Ukraine. So far, that has not been included in House Republicans' proposals. Congress must reach an agreement by the end of this month or risk a government shutdown.
Look, it's not September 30th. The game is not over, so we continue to work through it.
A shutdown would be disastrous. A shutdown would be unnecessary. And make no mistake, a shutdown is certainly avoidable.
The shutdown clock is ticking for lawmakers as the war in Ukraine rages on.
All right, now time now is 6:15 a.m. Good morning to anyone who's just now joining us. Right now, temperatures are a nice mild 64 degrees. Winds are mainly light and calm throughout most of south central Kentucky. As we go right into it, here's one taking a look at some of our tower cameras out here in Butler County. That's where we are seeing mostly overcast skies, and you can start to see some of the pinks from the sunrise earlier this morning. So it's a beautiful day to start the day, I would say. Now, temperatures in and around the area, that's when we are seeing temps mainly into the 60s and upper 50s. Munfordville, 59 degrees. Campbellsville, 58. And then further out to the west here in Greenville, that's where we are seeing temps into the mid-60s at 63 degrees. Dew point temperatures. Dew points have gone up a little bit overnight. Here in Hopkinsville, they are seeing a high temperature of the dew points at 66 degrees. So it is going to feel a little muggy and a little stuffy out there, especially throughout most of the parts of south central Kentucky and especially western Kentucky. That's where they are seeing a lot more shower and thunderstorm activity. But here's some of your views here in Butler County. Once again, 61 degrees in Butler County. Here in Warren County at the Warren County Kentucky Farm, 62 degrees. Not a lot of fog out there this morning. Now, as we go throughout the rest of the day, temperatures are expected to increase. Now, here's a live look at your radar. Further out to the west here for parts of Todd and Hopkins County, that's where they are seeing a few isolated small showers rolling into the area. Those are moving from southwest to northeast, mainly to the north. But more all, we are seeing temps a little cool, a little mild. But as we go throughout the rest of the day, temperatures are expected to still increase. Now, here's a look at your futurecast. As we take a look at the motions of the showers, they're mainly going to go off to the north and northeast. But most of us are going to experience mostly to partly cloudy skies throughout the rest of the day. But as we go throughout the evening, temperatures are expected to dip down to fall-like temperatures into the mid to low 60s. But overall, we're still going to be above normal throughout the next 6 to 10 days depicted by the Climate Prediction Center. As we go right into the next 4, the trends are trending into the mid to low 80s as we go right into next week. But then next week, temperatures are expected to dip down into the 70s. But today, temperatures, not so much. 84 degrees with partly cloudy skies, warm temperatures. If you're a warm weather fan like myself, it's going to be a great day to be outside. But tonight, temperatures are expected to be a little cooler, a little chillier with temps into the 60s at 60 degrees, partly to mostly clear skies with maybe a few isolated clouds and with mild temperatures. But In 2 days, fall begins. This is when fall, the fall equinox, is going to be here for the next 2 days at 1:50 in the morning. But as we go right into your 7-day forecast, that's when we are seeing temperatures begin to increase. As we go right into fall, it's not going to feel like fall with temperatures into the mid-80s. But as we go into next week, that's when we are expecting more shower and thunderstorm activity. But as we go into Monday, temperatures 78 degrees with lows dipping down into the 60s. But as we go into Tuesday into Wednesday, that's when we are expected to have numerous scattered showers and thunderstorms into the area. So make sure you bring your umbrella and your rain jacket. We'll be right back.
Bed sores, broken bones, malnutrition, and dehydration are just some of the warning signs of a nursing home that's not doing what they're supposed to do. If you suspect your loved one is the victim of nursing home neglect, call 800-800-4600.
Every Tuesday evening, now through October, from 5 to dusk, come join us and go cruising for a cure. Rev up for fun, fellowship, and cool cars. Cruise on in behind Brewster's Real Ice Cream on Scottsville Road in the Southern Lanes parking lot. We're raising money for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, the Alzheimer's Association, and Hospice of Southern Kentucky. Join us now for Cruisin' for a Cure, presented by J.C. Kirby & Son Funeral Chapels.
Now some breaking news.
FanDuel is coming to Kentucky.
Of course, all anyone has been talking about today, FanDuel is going live soon.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. FanDuel is coming to town. Fun is about to begin, everybody. I'm pumped. Let's go.
America's #1 sportsbook is headed to Kentucky. Get $100 in bonus bets when you sign up today. Make every moment more with FanDuel.
Shop Macy's VIP sale now. Take an extra 30% off designer brands and save 15% on skincare, makeup, fragrances, and more. Plus, find incredible specials. Own your style at Macy's.
Without the right start to your day, your morning could hit a wall.
Is he okay?
I got it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are baked with slow-release carbs and provide steady morning energy to help you rise and thrive.
Sundays are for football. WNKY 40 is your go-to for the NFL. Watch games all day on WNKY, CBS 40, and NBC 40.
The nursing home made you an important promise. They promised to be a good home for your loved one and to provide professional care in a safe environment. Now the nursing home has broken that promise and you're left searching for answers. Get Hughes & Coleman and get it done.
The Federal Reserve announced a pause in interest rate hikes yesterday. The Fed has raised rates 11 times since March of last year in an effort to get inflation under control. Those hikes have led to some of the highest borrowing costs in decades, with mortgage rates now at a 22-year high. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says the central bank is prepared to resume rate hikes in the future. Talks resumed yesterday between the Writers Guild of America and the major studios for the first time in nearly a month in hopes of ending the Hollywood writers' strike that's been going on since May. Sticking points include pay and the use of artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, the auto workers' strike has entered its 7th day. General Motors temporarily shut down a plant in Kansas yesterday, sending 2,000 workers home because the factory can't get essential parts. The United Auto Workers Union is threatening to expand the strike if progress isn't made by Friday. And Bank of America is hiking its base pay to $23 an hour starting next month. The country's second largest lender has been raising hourly wages since 2017, starting at $15 back then. Their goal is to hit $25 an hour by 2025. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
In the past year and a half, the Federal Reserve has increased interest rates to the highest level in 22 years, all in an attempt to ease inflation. Now the Federal Reserve is trying a new strategy. Skylar Henry explains from the White House.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says it's time to put a pause on interest rate hikes.
Given how far we have come, we are in a position to proceed carefully as we assess the incoming data
and the evolving outlook and risks.
The Fed's decision comes as inflation is cooling. The current rate is at 3.7%, way down from last summer's peak. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the Fed's target is inflation at just 2%.
At 3.7% annualized to 2% is actually a giant step. That's why so many economists believe that rates will have to stay higher.
Continuous high interest rates have made it difficult for Americans looking to borrow money.
Mortgage rates are now more than 7% compared to just under 3% 2 years ago. Credit cards are at a record high and nearing 21%. And the average rate for a new car loan is 7.4%, the highest level since 2008. But the latest pause in rate hikes may be temporary. Powell signaled another boost could happen this fall if needed.
Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run.
One concern for the Fed is gas prices, which are up about 20 cents a gallon in the past year. Bank rates, Greg McBride.
The risk is that if oil and gas prices stay high, that can ripple out into the costs of other goods and services and undermine some of the progress that we've seen on inflation so far.
The Fed will analyze the economy and make its next decision on rates in November.
All right, now taking a live look at your radar. A few of us are experiencing a wet commute. Here, showers and maybe even some light rain, especially further out to the west through parts of Hopkinsville and Hopkins County here in Madisonville. Further up to the north, that's where they are seeing some light to moderate rain showers to start off their day. But they are going to expect a little bit more showers and thunderstorm activity as some of these showers are going to be moving from the south to the north or to the southwest to the northeast. But the bigger picture is most of us here in the immediate area, we are seeing mostly dry conditions. Further out to the west, that's where they are still seeing more chances of seeing some more shower and thunderstorm activity, but that's going to stay off to the west for at least for now. But here's your commuter forecast. As we start off the day, your commuter AM drive is going to be into the 60s, but as we go into your lunch run, temperatures are still going to be into the mid to low 80s, but as we go right into the evening and PM drive, temperatures are still going to be into the mid 80s, so it's going to be fairly warm outside. But I'll have more on news and weather right after the break.
Bed sores, broken bones, malnutrition, and dehydration are just some of the warning signs of a nursing home that's not doing what they're supposed to do. If you suspect your loved one is the victim of nursing home neglect, call 800-800-4600.
Daniel Cameron says it's
one of the first things I will do as governor.
Bringing back former Governor Matt Bevin's ruthless Medicaid plan, threatening to take away coverage from over 95,000 Kentuckians, punishing working parents, putting rural hospitals in danger of shutting down.
This sounds very similar to something that Governor Matt Bevin tried.
Well, absolutely.
Denying people coverage, devastating rural health care.
Something that Governor Matt Bevin tried.
Well, absolutely.
Cameron's absolutely wrong for Kentucky.
Whoa! Big news! DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. You'll be so dialed into every play that you forget to eat your wings. You made my wings cold, DraftKings. Flailing your arms like you can disrupt the free throw. Miss, fool! And a home run will have you crying like it's the birth of your child. I'm so happy.
DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. New customers, download the app now to get $200 in bonus bets when we go live. Because life's more fun when you're in on the action. The crown is yours.
Yeah.
Enjoy a great lunch with a different food truck every week and help support our local charities.
Join us for Food Truck Fridays at the Tidballs parking lot on Chestnut Street. Part of your lunch purchase will be donated to a local nonprofit by Flora Templeton Stewart and our food trucks.
Food Truck Friday has collected over $10,000, making a difference in our community.
Brought to you by the law firm of Flora Templeton Stewart.
The nursing home made you an important promise. They promised to be a good home for your loved one and to provide professional care in a safe environment. Now the nursing home has broken that promise and you're left searching for answers. Get Hughes & Coleman and get it done.
Good morning, everybody. Weather anchor Noah Moore here. He's filling in for Darius Mack. Now, as we go on throughout the rest of the day today, temperatures are going to gradually increase into the mid-80s, so it's going to feel fairly warm outside and a little humid as we go throughout the rest of the weekend. But as we go into next week, temperatures are still going to go down into the mid to low 70s with showers and thunderstorms. But I'll have more on that because News 40 Sunrise continues right now.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us here on News 40 Sunrise. I'm Ashley Wilson. Let's continue with our top stories. Detroit car makers are announcing more layoffs that they blame on fallout from the United Auto Workers strike. General Motors said Wednesday it idled a plant in Kansas with 2,000 workers because they don't have auto parts to work with. The plant that makes those parts is on strike, and Stellantis, the maker of Jeep and Chrysler, says it expects to lay off more than 300 workers in Ohio and Indiana. The layoffs are adding to tension just 2 days before the UAW is expected to call for expanding its strike, which right now is limited to 3 vehicle assembly plants. There is no word as if or when plants here in Kentucky will join the strike. We come back here at home where one local favorite is returning. The White Squirrel Brewery is back with a new location inside the former Gasper Brewing Company building. The local brewery will still have all of their staple products on tap, along with some new ones in an open building with a variety of seating areas and plenty of activities for the whole family. The owners say they are excited to finally cut the ribbon on the establishment.
Just the way it's come together. And like it was dragging along. Like I said, we started the construction in early April, and it was just, it's just kind of dragging along, and then all of a sudden the vision came together.
The grand opening is scheduled for this Saturday with lots of events planned for the whole weekend. You can visit our website, WNKY.com, for more details on all you can expect to see at this event. And neighborhood and city services are giving the Riverfront Park what some might call a facelift. This city has unveiled the new design of the park while hosting a workshop, giving members of the community a chance to share any thoughts on what works and what doesn't work within the park. News 40 sat down with the city commissioner and heard his view on the new project.
I'm excited, number one, because we're developing the riverfront, and to see something like this to actually come to life and to be something that's going to be a revenue booster for our city is going to be great. And in 20 years, it's going to be a place that everybody's going to look back and be glad that we have this.
If you didn't have the chance to share your thoughts at Wednesday night's workshop, you can visit the city's website to share what you'd like to see within the new park. And we want you and your children to be prepared anytime you're in a vehicle, and we're not the only ones. That's why local law enforcement is hoping to help you keep your child safe by providing some life-saving tips. This week is Child Passenger Safety Week. Officers say you should check your child's car seats or booster seats to make sure everything is properly installed and that your child is always buckled in correctly.
We don't just work in these communities, we're a part of them. Our families are there, and we want to make sure that everybody's as safe as possible because we want the roadways to be a safe place, a place where people aren't afraid to travel daily. Just being able to provide some type of information to people to make their travels a little safer, especially for their kids.
If you have any questions about installing your car seat or you want to check that you're buckling your child in properly, you can always visit a local law enforcement office or fire department and they will help you. That was a final look at this morning's top stories. Now it's time to see who needs a forever home in today's Pet of the Day.
Time now for your Pet of the Day, brought to you by Morgantown Bank and Trust. I'm Noah Fairber. I'm here with Conway, a 1-year-old Rot mix who is very high energy, loves playing with other dogs, especially his squeaky toys. So come down to the Bowling Green Warren County Humane Society and adopt him today.
Conway has that puppy energy.
Oh my goodness,
he's so
what
sweet.
A beautiful dog.
And he loves those toys, he loves those pets, so he needs a forever home, a forever family, so you can adopt Conway today from the Bowling Green Warren County Humane Society.
Yeah, very energetic, very cute animal, oh my goodness. But yeah, no, as we go throughout the next couple of days, though, it'll be a great time to take that nice little dog out for a walk with these warm temperatures. But I'll have more on that coming up in my full forecast.
The competition is on.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy?
Weeknights at 6 on NBC 40.
When you come in and open an account with us, you can choose to have a shelter pet card. Whenever you use that card and swipe it as a credit transaction, it triggers a donation back to the animal shelters.
They're able to help the shelter in such an easy way.
It's a way to help remotely, and you know that your money is going to be used well.
It really means a lot to be a local bank now. We just try to give back in any way we can.
My brother Tim was paralyzed at Disney World. We got to see what happens when you're poor and you got a big injury, and we ended up hiring the wrong lawyer. When I see these clients in my lobby, I see my brother Tim, and I don't want him or them to ever have that kind of representation. I want them to have their best chance of winning and the best chance to put their life back together the best way they can.
Flu shots at CVS are pretty flex. Schedule one for you or the whole crew. Plus, they're free.
Really?
Healthier is getting a flu shot on your schedule. CVS, healthier happens together.
To stay locked in, I need to keep up my strength and my energy.
Cliff Bar is the ultimate energy bar, purposefully crafted with a blend of protein, fat, and carbs.
Because the more good you put in, the more great you get out.
Grab some lunch and make an impact. Join WNKY News 40 for Food Truck Fridays every week at Tidball's parking lot. This week features Tacos Way to benefit the Alzheimer's Association. See the full lineup at WNKY.com. WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
All right, now 6:33 in the morning. Thank you for joining us. Temperatures currently in and around the area. We're mainly seeing temperatures into the mid to low 60s. Here at Bowling Green, 64 degrees. Further down to the south in Scottsville, 63. Same thing for Franklin. Russellville is at a nice warm 64 degrees. Wind speed's pretty light and calm at the current time, but winds are mainly going to be coming out of the south-southwest, giving us a lot more warmer temperatures into the region. Now here's a live look at your radar. Further out to the west near Madisonville and Hopkinsville, that's where they are going to continue to still see more showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder activity, but the main threats just include heavy downpours and maybe even some lightning into the area, but that's the only thing you really need to worry about. But as the storms go through the same areas, you may pick up a lot more heavier rain showers. But the bigger picture is that's where we are still having mostly dry conditions in the immediate area, but further out to the west, throughout most of Paducah and parts of western Kentucky, that's where they are still seeing a lot more shower and thunderstorms. But then way further out to the west in parts of the plain states, a lot more drier conditions. So if you will be traveling, that's where you definitely got to have a lot more drier conditions. But here's your commuter forecast throughout the rest of the day. Temperatures are going to gradually increase into the 80s, especially by lunchtime. Temperatures are going to be near 80, but as we go right into the PM drive, that's where we are going to see temperatures into the mid 80s. So it's going to be fairly warm. So I would recommend wearing shorts and t-shirts. But I'm tossing over to Ashley for her sunrise spotlight.
Thank you, Noah. It's time for your Thursday edition of Sunrise Spotlight. And with me in studio this morning is Jamie Sizemore, here to tell us all about Hunger Action Month and how you can help prevent food insecurity in our community. Jamie, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's so nice to have you here to talk about something very important that I feel like so many of us take for granted sometimes. You know, we have food on our table, we get to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but that's not the case for everyone.
That's correct. Food insecurity is really a hidden issue. I mean, it's in our community everywhere, and people just don't realize that. So it's the lady that's sitting next to you at church in the church pew. It's the family that's working but is struggling to get by, or individuals, a lot of seniors in our community who are on a fixed income or raising grandchildren, which is prevalent in Kentucky, of course.
Yes, and it's so hard because you hear about these kids too that really they leave school on Friday and they don't really have anything to eat over the weekend. And so with this food insecurity, how can we help Bowling Green, Warren County, South Central Kentucky overcome this and help this cause?
So on Hunger Action Month, we're asking people to do 3 things. First, volunteer. It's really important that we have boots on the ground to help us. We cover 42 counties actually, and we have 250 partner agencies that work throughout that area. So here in this area, we have lots of agency partners that are pantries, soup kitchens. Go out and volunteer, help them serve your neighbors in need. The second way is to advocate for hunger relief programs like SNAP. For every meal that SNAP provides, which people used to call that the food stamp program, it's called SNAP now, the charitable food system provides 1 meal. So if we don't have strong SNAP to help families in need and individuals, then it's going to fall back on the charitable food system. And the last way is to donate. For every $1 donated to our regional food bank, we're able to acquire enough food for 8 meals. I mean, you want to talk about stretching $1.
Right.
We can really stretch $1. And so we're actually challenging the viewers to help us reach a 1 million meal challenge this last fourth quarter. That's $125,000. Actually, we can take that and acquire enough food for 1 million meals.
Wow.
And so, you know, you can go to our website, which is feedingamericaky.org, and donate, and we'll make sure that those meals get out to the communities and the people in need.
Wonderful. Well, it's such an important cause. Thank you for sharing this morning. We hope everyone can get involved, and you know, $1, as you said, can go a long way.
It absolutely can, and volunteering can go a long way. We do need boots on the ground.
Absolutely. Well, Jamie, as always, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
That was a look at this morning's Sunrise Spotlight. When we return, weather anchor Noah Moore is back with a full look at this morning's forecast. Stay with us.
Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher.
Home is more than a house. Wherever you are in your journey of homeownership, German American Bank is here to support you. Our team of dedicated mortgage loan professionals can help you with lending solutions featuring low or no down payment, assistance for closing costs and improvement projects, or even loans specifically for first-time home buyers. We're here to tell you, homeownership is achievable. German American Bank, member FDIC.
Been in a car or semi-truck accident? Be prepared to take on big insurance. At Flora, Templeton Stewart, we've been fighting for the rights of our injured clients for over 47 years, with results like $1.2 million, $1.7 million, and even $2.8 million for our injured clients. In an accident? Call us 24/7 so we can get our team to work for you.
Get a little spooky with your favorite pup at the inaugural Pupkin 5K Run and Walk, October 28th at Buchanan Park. Sign up for early bird registration now and receive a free t-shirt and pumpkin. For more info, visit warrenpl.org.
Is your search for a new home on hold because of high interest rates and high monthly payments? Jago Homes has your solution with a low 4.99 fixed interest rate and no energy bills for 2 years. You'll enjoy open, spacious living. Your new home is protected with a 210 warranty and backed by our full-time service department. Learn why a new Jago home is more affordable than you think at jagohomes.com, because life is too precious to be put on hold.
Every Tuesday evening, now through October, from 5 to dusk, come join us and go cruising for a cure. Rev up for fun, fellowship, and cool cars. Cruise on in behind Brewster's Real Ice Cream on Scottsville Road in the Southern Lanes parking lot. We're raising money for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, the Alzheimer's Association, and Hospice of Southern Kentucky. Join us now for Cruisin' for a Cure, presented by J.C. Kirby & Son Funeral Chapels.
WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
Welcome back to the News 40. Right now, our time is 6:40 in the morning. Temperatures are into the mid-60s at 64 degrees. Winds are mainly light and calm throughout most of the area. Dew points are into the 60s as well, so it's going to feel a little warm and a little stuffy outside. But taking a look at some of our tower cameras here in Butler County, overcast skies seen here, but very beautiful conditions as we go right throughout most of the work week into next week or into the weekend. But temperatures right now, temps are mainly into the mid-60s throughout most of the area. Further out to the west in Hopkinsville, that's where we are seeing temps into the mid-60s at 66. Madisonville, 64. E-Town, 60 degrees. Then further down to the south here in Gamelia is at a nice warm 57 degrees. Dew point temperatures, that's where we are seeing dew points mainly into the 60s and upper 50s. 59 here in Brownsville. Woodbury, 60, and then same thing for Hartford at 59 degrees. So overall, we are mainly going to continue to stay a little stuffy for the rest of the day. So if you're going to be going out and about, make sure you keep that in mind. But as we go right into everything else, temperatures and going to be really nice and comfortable. Butler County here, temperatures are at 60 degrees. Further out here in Warren County at the Kentucky Farm, 62 degrees. And seeing once again these overcast skies throughout most of the area. And that's going to be the main story for today. Mostly cloudy skies, maybe even a few clearings of sun, but further out to the west here in Madisonville and Hopkinsville, showers and possibility of even seeing a rumble of thunder are in the forecast for them today. But the bigger picture is most of us are still fairly cool and mild as we go right into our showers and thunderstorms continuing to move off to the southwest to the northeast. Here's your futurecast. You're going to definitely see some of these showers and thunderstorms continue to stay off to the west mainly, but most of us here are going to continue to have more shower and cloud activity, especially further out to the west you go. But then early tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to feel fairly cool into the 50s. But as we go right into the middle of the day, temperatures once again are going to go mainly into the mid-80s. And that's going to feel very summer-like as we go right into the next couple of days. Now, here's the things warming up. We are going to be above normal with temps mainly being into the mid-80s as we go right into the fall season. The next 4 days, temperatures are going to be once again in the mid-80s. But as we go into next week, by Monday, temperatures are going to dip into the mid to upper 70s. Today, temperatures 84 degrees with partly cloudy skies with maybe a few areas of some sun. Tonight, temperatures are going to mainly be into the low 60s at 60 degrees with partly to mostly clear skies. A few of us may still have some of those stubborn clouds. But in the next 2 days, fall will begin at around Saturday at 1:50 in the morning for all you fall fans. But going into your 7-day forecast sponsored by Deborah Bros and Attorneys at Law, as we go right in end of the week, temperatures are still going to be into the mid-80s. But as we go into the weekend, the second half of the weekend, that's where we are expected to have temperatures into the low 80s with more shower and thunderstorm activity. But then as we go into next week, we are expected to have even more scattered storms into our forecast. But happy birthday to anybody out there, because we're going right into Soki's Birthday Club.
No dairy, no problem. Rooster's got you. Our delicious oat milk ice cream is a vegan treat you don't want to miss. It's a dreamy delight that'll please the whole gang. Try it in a cone or a shake and treat yourself at Rooster's today.
Everyone loves more of a good thing.
And more.
And Miss Moore was no different. As her name suggested, she loved more.
More? More.
So when Miss Moore was injured, she called Morgan & Morgan. With more lawyers, more offices, and more than $15 billion recovered, she didn't have to ask for more anymore. When you're injured, you deserve more.
One more?
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
There are so many different ways that you can volunteer at Hope Harbor. I am a part of the fundraising committee. I'm a hospital advocate, so I'm able to be there for those survivors. There is no one else that does this type of work like we do when we go to the hospitals and support those survivors.
The work that I do through Hope Harbor means really everything to me. Being a survivor myself, the organization allows me to provide the care and the support that I wasn't afforded.
There are so many ways to help Hope Harbor accomplish their mission, ending sexual violence.
Have big dreams for your space? When looking for home decor ideas, you want BG Home Furnishings.
BG Home Furnishings designers are here to bring your dream home to life with one-on-one design help. Personalized advice from the best has never been this easy, accessible, and valuable. The BG at Home team handpicks from over 100 brands to create a selection of furniture and home decor that is tailored to your style.
Call us today to set up your free in-home design consultation.
It's important to understand your insurance policy. At Buyers Insurance Group, we work with our clients to educate and develop the best plans for auto, home, business, and life insurance. Let's talk about policy.
Call or visit us for a free quote.
Buyers Insurance Group.
Sundays are for football. WNKY 40 is your go-to for the NFL. Watch games all day on WNKY, CBS 40, and NBC 40.
Welcome into sports. The Bowling Green Hot Rods received some recognition after the 2023 season. 3 players for the team have been named to the South Atlantic All-Star team. Outfielder Drew Baker, shortstop Carson Williams, and left-handed pitcher Keyshawn Askew were all selected after big seasons. The Hot Rods' 3 All-Stars are the second most for a single team this season. behind the Hickory Crawdads. Well, to the Hill now as WKU volleyball is gearing up for conference play after going 3-0 this past weekend. Tops are set to open CUSA play hosting UTEP inside of Diddle Arena tomorrow night. WKU is currently 10-4 on the season, riding a 5-match win streak. Here are head coach Travis Hudson's thoughts on the team's schedule so far this season.
It certainly has battle tested us. There's no doubt about that. We know the challenges we have ahead of us in this league, and but we won't walk out there with any fear in our eyes, but you know, considering the schedule that we've played, because every single match it seems like we've been playing someone who can really play, and certainly the next couple opponents are that in conference play to start off.
Well, that's a look at sports, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Patrick. Does less sunlight per day and the cooler temperatures get you feeling down? Well, News 40 reporter Tucker Covey spoke with local mental health professionals for solutions to the blues.
Seasonal affective disorder affects millions of Americans every year. The good news is that there are quite a few ways to combat this seasonal affliction, and detecting it early is one of the best ways.
Warning signs for seasonal affective disorder may look similar to the same warning signs as like depression. So a loss of interest in doing things that you normally enjoy, changes in appetite, changes in sleep, changes in mood, motivation, not really wanting to get up and do things.
In general, things like exercise, eating healthy, and getting good quality sleep are the best ways to combat SAD each year. Some might even consider a light box.
A lot of times people resist doing exercise because they think it has to be something rigorous, and it doesn't. It can just be, 30 minutes of light activity, but just moving your body is helpful.
Some organizations like WKU have begun trying new methods to look after the mental health of students and faculty alike. Things like dog therapy with a trained canine named Chip.
We've had some students who have had a day where they're just walking down the hall and they look very sad, and all they have to do is see Chip in the hall, and all of a sudden there's a smile on their face, and it really just gives them a small pause from what is currently on their mind.
In Bowling Green, because local matters, Tucker Covey, WNKY News 40.
Coming up after the break, we'll dive deep into the history of Aviation Heritage Park in today's Throwback Thursday. Plus, weather anchor Noah Moore is back with a quick look at your forecast before you head out the door this morning. Stay close.
The Kentucky Museum at WKU is your museum, a place where Kentuckians come to know Kentucky. With free admission, the Kentucky Museum strives to inspire, elevate, and transform. Discover contemporary art, explore folk traditions, and learn about Kentucky's vast history. Get to know the Kentucky Museum Wednesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, visit wku.edu/Kentucky Museum. Special thanks to Abound Credit Union for its promotional support.
I'm attorney Deborah Brose. I am committed to my clients across South Central Kentucky. But don't just take it from me. If you've suffered a personal injury, I can help. Call our office today for a free consultation.
Will the voice reigning champion?
I won this competition last season.
Break out his signature move.
Who do you choose? This is so hard.
And there's the Nile Smile. The Voice, Monday and Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
People are irrational, but predictably so. Which is why the FBI calls for me.
Who do you think you are? James Bond?
Take out, throw my back out.
The Irrational, Monday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
Dog Stay Out is South Central Kentucky's 5-paw rated dog resort. Whether for the day or a whole vacation, Dog Stay Out will keep your pets safe and loved. Dog Stay Out offers boarding, daycare, agility courses, positive reinforcement training, grooming, and more. With multiple packages to choose from, pamper your pup any way you see fit. Find out more at dgokY.com. Your dog's home away from home. Dog Stay Out.
The Jennifer Hudson Show is here.
You're going to bless people every day.
Something hits you in your heart. We're doing it all.
Weekdays at 2 on NBC 40.
At WNKY News 40, we're always on. WNKY.com has the latest in breaking news, local headlines, weather forecasts, and sports highlights. WNKY News 40, because local matters.
Welcome back to News 40 Sunrise, and as always, thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:52 a.m. I'm Tommy Modesto. The new Aviation Heritage Park Museum is set to open up this weekend. A Horse Cave native was famous for shooting down an enemy plane in the first air battle of the Korean War. News 40's Talia Butler tells us more in this week's Throwback Thursday.
As Aviation Heritage Park in Bowling Green prepares to open its new museum to the public this weekend, we thought it might be fun to share a news story of Southern Kentucky aviation. We've covered the stories of the planes and helicopter on display at the park, but there are many other Southern Kentucky aviators and heroes as well, like the late Lieutenant Charles Moran from Horse Cave. Born in Horse Cave 99 years ago, Charles Moran II was the grandson of the famous Center College football head coach, Uncle Charlie Moran. According to Aviation Heritage Park, Charles was raised primarily by his grandfather and had a passion for basketball and flying. In 1942, he even played on Western State Teachers College basketball team for legendary coach E.A. Diddle with teammates Dero Downing and John Oldham. Just the right age to be drafted in time for World War II, Charles joined the Air Force in 1943. He flew bomb missions until the end of the war, met his wife while training in Houston, then remained active and moved his family to Japan in 1948 to learn night fighting combat. He trained in the new F-82 Twin Mustang all-weather fighter planes and was one of the first round of fighters to answer the call in 1950 when the Korean War began. He shot down an enemy plane and received an Air Medal for his actions during the war's very first air combat mission. 40 days later, he went on a night intruder mission over Suncheon and was never heard from again. 18 months later, the remains of his body and plane were found, and his remains were moved and buried in his family plot in Horse Cave in 1952. His historic marker can be found at the intersection of North Dixie Street and State Highway 218 in Horse Cave. More details on Lieutenant Charles Moran and other Southern Kentucky aviators is available at the all-new Aviation Heritage Park Museum in Bowling Green. That's it for this week, brought to you by Hart County Tourism and the Kentucky Museum in Bowling Green, because local matters. Talia Butler, WNKY News 40.
All right, welcome back. Another look at your radar here. Further out to the west, some of us are experiencing more showers and heavier downpours, especially way past the Mississippi River. But here's your commuter forecast as we get into the day. Your AM drive is going to be into the mid to upper 60s, feeling nice and mild. But as we go into your lunch run, temperatures are going to be into the mid to low 80s, so expect maybe wearing like a t-shirt or anything like that. But as we go maybe into the PM drive, temperatures are going to be into the mid 80s. Temperatures are going to feel very nice, very warm, but our humidity levels are going to be a little stuffy out there, so just make sure to keep that in mind. But as we go into your weather view, most of us are going to experience a lot of these overcast skies, especially as we start the day, but it's going to make for a beautiful sunrise. I know I got a picture in from a friend here just a few minutes ago. We are going to still have a very nice, beautiful sunrise, but going into the next couple of hours, we are expected to have temperatures go right into the mid 80s, especially as we get into 1 p.m. But as we go and end the day, temperatures should be into the mid to low 70s. We'll be right back after the break.
Just rockin' and rollin', baby. Come back tomorrow.
We got you all fixed up. Got it all fixed up for you, man. Let there be light, ma'am.
Looks like she finally called JV.
Did you know one of the most common reasons moms stop breastfeeding early is a concern about their breast milk supply? Many times, moms may think your baby isn't getting enough breast milk because your baby eats often. It's actually normal for infants to breastfeed 8 to 12 times a day. They may also cluster feed, meaning they may eat frequently, sometimes even as often as every half hour for a few feedings. If you have concerns about your infant's feeding or see signs of inadequate breast milk, contact a lactation professional and your healthcare provider.
Football Frenzy is back in South Central Kentucky. WNKY News 40 is your home for high school football. The most schools, the most highlights, the most coverage. Catch Football Frenzy Friday nights at 10 on WNKY News 40.
Whoa! Big news. DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. You'll be so dialed into every play that you forget to eat your wings. You made my wings cold, DraftKings. Flailing your arms like you can disrupt the free throw. Miss, fool! And a home run will have you crying like it's the birth of your child. I'm so happy.
DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. New customers, download the app now to get $200 in bonus bets when we go live. Because life's more fun when you're in on the action. The crown is yours.
Yeah.
The competition is on.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy?
Weeknights at 6 on NBC 40. WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
I just love the history that we have in Bowling Green, and with Aviation Heritage Park opening up this weekend. And I love driving by and seeing just the continuous, efforts being made for that park. And of course, all the aircrafts that are out there too.
It's so cool. It is so cool. I mean, I love going there, and I used to go there all the time. They have a hockey rink at that park, so I used to go there to play hockey all the time. But the first time I really moved to Bowling Green and I discovered that area, instead of playing hockey, I think I spent an hour and a half just walking around the planes, reading the history behind each one. It is so cool. It is really so cool. I love it.
And it's all local connections. Like you would not believe the amount of people that are remembered, and so it's exciting. So if you need something to do this weekend, head out to that. There's so much going on this weekend. The opening of White Squirrel Brewery back, that's really exciting. And they've just opened up this space for it, and so it's gonna be family friendly, it sounds like. So it's gonna be so much fun there, and gosh, so many things to do. I love all the fall things.
Oh, I love it too. But do you know what else I love? The weather, and the good weather for the weekend, especially for the start of the weekend. Temperatures are going to feel very nice, very warm. So if you are going out and about to do any of those things, we are going to have the right kind of conditions to go ahead and go out and do that with a breeze. But as we go right into your 7-day forecast, temperatures are going to feel very above normal, especially as we go into the weekend. For the first day of fall, temperatures are going to be into the mid-80s, but Sunday, that's when we are going to start introducing another rain chance for us by the second half of the weekend, with temperatures into the low 80s. But going into Monday, that's when we are going to continue to still have another rain chance at 40% chance, with temperatures just a little bit cooler. This is when we're going to start seeing seasonable temperatures into the 70s. But as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when we are going to see temperatures into the mid-70s once again. But we are going to be expecting a lot more shower and thunderstorm activity as we go into it. So you're definitely going to want to make sure you have all your rain gear ready, like your umbrella and your rain jacket. But as we go into Wednesday, it's going to be another continuous rainy day with numerous showers and thunderstorms.
All right, thank you, Noah, and thank you all for joining us this morning. We look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow at 6 a.m.